Are we now on?
We are.
Very good. Monday, December 20th, 5:15 p.m. Calling to order the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Cotuit Fire District. In attendance, Commissioner Pisano.
Commissioner Conley. Commissioner Zace.
Chief Rude.
Thank you. We have an opening for public comment. If there is anybody, do we have anybody online that listed anything in chat?
Somebody just signed on. There is no chat.
Okay. Oh, it's Carol. Hello, Carol.
Hello.
Okay. Let's move along. We'll have another public comment at the very end. New business. We're here to discuss tonight the appointment of an acting chief to cover the department until our search process is completed. And we have a new full-time chief appointed. So that's the primary order of business. Are the two of you up to speed with our thinking on this? The various options that we have been weighing over time, including appointing internally, hit lots of complications, got too convoluted. A much cleaner solution seemed to be, as Chief Rude needs to devote more and more time to his new job, that his ability to continue to help us with coverage is getting stretched. And we have a very positive opportunity tonight. We have with us former Chief Michael Small, who was chief in Falmouth for 4.5 years before his retirement, who has indicated that he would be willing to serve as an interim chief for the period of time that will look to be, we're looking at probably minimum 6 weeks before we can have our new chief in place. And as I understand it, that would not put you in jeopardy with your hour limit for retirement, would it? Very good.
So I just chime in real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, the committee's working hard on getting a new fire chief. It's looking like probably 2 months. There's always a possibility it can stretch longer. So 2 months, there's no problem with Chief Small taking the position. It won't affect that. But if it does stretch on longer, the longer stretches on, it could eventually stretch up against a limit where he stop taking retirement from his current retirement from his current position, or retired position from Falmouth. He's indicated that he's not leaving Cotuit hanging, and he will stick around as long as it takes. So we don't foresee a problem, but if there was, he's indicated he's going to stand behind and stick around as long as you need him.
And I would add that Chief Rude has already indicated he would continue to try to be available as much as possible to help him get oriented and to learn procedures in the department, so that as much as possible he can provide day-to-day coverage, and we would then have a senior officer available also to be on scene for critical incidents without unduly disrupting Chief Rude's new career. Questions?
Yeah, are we going to also, when we left the meeting last week, we were talking about solutions. This sounds like a very interesting one. I'd like to know more. Thank you for coming, and I think you volunteered, but are we going to also talk about potentially the deputy, potentially from internal appointing someone for that role? So I have had some conversations with guys in the House, and I think there's maybe contrasting points of view about what the issues were, but I do know that there's interest and support for the idea of a temporary deputy as well from potentially the acting lieutenants. So are we going to talk about that? And it may not be tonight, but are we going to talk about that at some point?
I would certainly be open to discussing it as we proceed. You're right, it's not on the agenda
Right.
tonight. We're looking for a first step tonight, but certainly that would remain an opening, and it would be something that with Chief Small as an acting chief, we would get an opportunity to get even more input about how that might look or work.
Okay, yeah. I committed to bringing this up to the people that I've been talking to.
And there have been a number of discussions. I also had some discussions with various members of the department about it. It gets complicated in terms of back coverage, and we're still down one person on IOD, so that it imposes a lot of complications with.
Yeah, probably bears more study or modeling, but it might be, there's more work that we need to do to figure out what to backfill with overtime or not. But I do know that the folks that I talked to were very open to that, to the idea.
Good. Well, I think that conversation can certainly move forward.
Okay.
Kevin?
No, I think Chief said a long career. I have no question.
Microphone.
Oh,
Sorry.
I don't have questions. The Chief's had a long career, very successful career. I think he'd be a good asset to the department. For the temporaries, we finish off the review of the candidates for the permanent chief.
Okay. The second item on the proposal would be salary. If we were to offer this position to Chief Small, I would propose that since it would be without any other ancillary benefits, that we set a flat weekly rate of $4,000. We are currently paying Chief Rude on an hourly rate, which works out to
I think my old hourly weekly rate was approximately $3,000.
right.
With that input from other fire chiefs, and $4,000 a week is a very reasonable, lucky to get into that rate of pay for an active fire chief.
And we currently have, as you'll see if you follow the treasurer's report tonight in Prudential, we have enough money left in budgeted payroll for Chief Rude's salary for the year to get us cover that and to get us to the point where we would be negotiating a contract with the new candidate.
So he'd be an hourly contracted employee, no benefits, I would assume.
Right. And the wording that I wanted to propose is that duties and responsibilities would be as described in the most recent chief's contract, the term to last until a full-time new chief is appointed.
Do we have a sense of the hours? Is this, we talking full time, is it 40 hours?
It would be as per my contract, which is full time.
And Adam, I'm showing you as muted also. Oh.
Report, so.
Didn't know if we got
Well, I
you.
still don't know whether there's echo, so I was just gonna.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Then I would like to make the motion that we offer the position of interim acting chief to Michael Small to begin on, you're back from your trip 12:30?
12:30 and just Thursday. 12:30 is Thursday.
The afternoon, so would you be available for the 31st?
The craziest night of the year.
Right. Welcome to the job. Starting 12/31, to be paid at a weekly rate of a flat rate of $4,000 per week. Duties and responsibilities as described in the most recent chief's contract. The term is to last until a full-time new chief is appointed.
Before we go on to, I have a question. Chief, how does this work with, are you ramping down then entirely at this stage? Or on the 31st?
The proposal would be that on the 31st, I no longer fire chief, Chief Small becomes fire chief Cotuit. I would continue on an hourly basis as a contractor as needed. I'm assuming I'm going to be needed to come in a couple hours to transfer payroll duties, bills payment, any only as the fire chief needs me. I would have no rank. I would have just a contractor.
Sorry, I just wanted to get a sense of that.
Decided, as I said, the point that maybe something else. Him and you, I'd be no longer at a vehicle or a title.
Transfer the vehicle at that time?
I transfer the vehicle on the point, which would be the 31st.
Okay, that was my question. Thanks, Chief.
Second?
Motion's been forwarded and second. Ready for a vote? I vote in favor.
Conley in favor?
Zace in favor?
Chief Small, thank you very much for being available for this position. We appreciate it, and we look forward to working with you in the future. For our own selfish self-interest, I hope it's not too long a period of time, but we really appreciate your availability for this, and that's great. Terrific.
Yes, thank you very much.
We're lucky to have it. One other possibility, do we want to name Chief Small to the screening search committee for fire chief?
Is that under the review of this particular meeting?
It's you guys, fire commission, the ability to appoint people to committees, but.
That's a good point. So.
You're more than
but consistency, in mind, you involved as well?
I have no problem staying involved, but at point him, you have the option of pulling him in or not pulling him in.
No, right, that's what I'm saying. So I think what I would look at to that point is to have him to come up with part of that conversation. But I ask that you, if you're available, stay involved.
Right.
I'm sure here's some things that trustees have done.
Right. I'm good with that.
So then I would think, Chief, I'd make a motion that we appoint some small funds in the searching committee for chief.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye, Zace.
Unanimous. Very good. I have nothing else. Open the floor to public comment before we close. Do you have anything stacked in chat?
No.
Very good. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. In favor. Zana.
Zace.
Boy, do we run a meeting.